Ready? Hi, ladies. Okay, so the one thing I haven't figured out is where I'm supposed to look. But I'm going to try looking up, so hopefully I'm looking at something. Before, I would have been so nervous to do one of these things, although right now I am kind of sweating, but it's all good. But in my development, I realized that my story is important and it needs to be told. If I get emotional, just bear with me. I kind of dealt with a lot, but I'm a very emotional person. I'm finding as I get older, taking after my grandma. Anyways, so let's go. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Justine. It is nice to meet you guys all one day. It will be nice. I am in the making. That's my new thing. I am a single mom of 3. I have a daughter that is 22 in college, continuing on. She just graduated with 2 AAs, and she is going to get her bachelor's in criminal justice. Not my first choice, but gotta support her. I have a daughter that is 13, about to be 14, just starting high school, and a son who is in 7th grade, and he's 12, going on 13, and yeah, he's still alive. Just kidding. I love my son dearly, but boy, he has given me a hard time. Okay, anyway, social distancing is not the thing, and it's not for me, and it's not for them, and it's just not. So, but we're doing okay. So I am going to start with a little bit about myself. And I don't think I'm going to cry because I think I've gotten through it, but I might. So I was raised by a single mom, and by the way, I made cards because I get to talking really fast, and then I forget half of what I wanted to say, kind of like my Opportunity Live when I forgot the flavors of the shakes. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so I was raised by a single mom with 5 kids on welfare and 4 different dads that we know of, but we really weren't raised with our dads. So my mom was a hot mess. I was born on my mom's birthday. Some say I was her favorite. I don't know. But she was a topless go-go dancer, singer in a bar. And yes, that's where my dad met her. So the story, I'll let you finish that. Anyways, he was off in boot camp 6 months. He came home 6 months later. Here I was. So, but I only was in his life until I was 2, and then my mom proceeded to take off with us 5 kids. And in this relationship, that relationship, and the other, we ended up in Washington. And I didn't really know anything. I didn't remember my dad from 2. Never really thought I was missing anything or knew anything about having a dad. Just wasn't even talked about. Well, one day she said, because she was in a very abusive relationship. Now I look back, he was a drug dealer. I didn't know that then, but I know now. Abusive, verbally, physically, you know, the whole bit. So one day she said, we're moving to California and you're going to meet your dad. And I'm thinking, huh? What are you talking about? What dad? What is that? So she put me on the phone with him, and I just said, hi, I love you, bye, because I didn't know what to say. So he proceeded to meet us at the airport, and anyway, so I started to see my dad a little bit here and there when my mom would allow it. We moved to Boulder Creek. I'm not sure, some of you that are in this area might know of that area, maybe not. We were actually in Boulder Creek when I was young, off and on, before we moved to Washington. But so we moved into a little 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I would kind of say a little shack. It was kind of a hippie style kind of thing. Anyways, eventually my mom stopped coming home. We didn't have water, we didn't have food, we didn't have heat. And I kind of became the mom, so to speak. I was the second in line. So I was 10, my brother was 12, then there was an 8, 6, and 4. Well, my older brother was going to school, so I had to stay home with the younger ones, because who was going to do that? Most of the time, I found myself sitting at the window crying at night, wondering if my mom was coming home. Apparently there's still more in there to heal about that. Anyways, I was always taking care of the younger siblings, wondering, sometimes she came home. Sometimes she came home on the back of a Harley. Bunch of people, crazy looking people. Yeah. So one time she came home drunk, really angry with me. It's a long story, won't go into it, but she did choke me. And I like to say I was gasping for air. It was awful. I ran outside, ran to the nearest payphone. Back then they had payphones, and called my dad. I didn't know what to do. And of course, my dad was like, no way, my daughter's not going to live like this. So my dad sent a private investigator out and got it all wrapped up, got an attorney, and then he showed up one day and I said, I'm not coming back, am I? And he said, no, it's your stuff. That was my second time leaving my whole life behind. So anyways, I move in with my dad and I met my stepmom and my sister. And some of you know my sister, Nikki. At that time, she was 2. At the airport when they showed up, but I hadn't met my brother. Anyways, I move in with my family. And my stepmom did not want me there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that other than it was not fun. I there too was taking care of siblings. After school, my life was taking care of siblings. Some people like to say it was a Cinderella kind of story. And it kind of was. I did wake up in the middle of the night hearing her say, I don't want her here. She's ruining our family. She's a tattletale, because I like to do everything by the book. So I lived with that. Yeah. So anyways, I think I couldn't wait to get out of the house. So one thing led to another. I was engaged right out of high school. Actually, I was kicked out my senior year, so I had to move in with him. Anyway, so I moved in, was engaged. I wanted to do hair, but that wasn't fast enough. So I decided to go to school to do nails. And I would go back once I got married. Okay. I never got married. That's a whole nother Zoom. So I ended up back at home, 19 years old, same song and dance, you know. But eventually I ended up moving out on my own, and, you know. So then I was 21, and I was in a car accident. I'm not going to go into that story too much either, other than I was almost killed by a drunk driver. Some of you in this area may know him. And I think he's one of the things that I still have to deal with healing. But I was thrown 75 feet, broke my neck, and my right femur was crushed in 3 places. And all I could think of, and after I found out what happened, after I came to and after life got back to somewhat normal, that I was so grateful that I lived, because most people would not have survived something like that. But I knew at that point that there's got to be more in my life. I'm here for a reason. I got through that. I went back to work in a wheelchair. So anyways, I had terrible girlfriend relationships. They either ended up with one of my boyfriends or my family member, or took me for a ride, whether it be money or whatever. Having to take care of people from my whole life from a young girl, I never dreamed about being a little princess twirling in a dress. And I say that because one of the Zooms, Shay had mentioned that, and I thought, I never thought about that. I didn't even have time. I never dreamed. I never had a dream. So I had a lot of unresolved emotional issues. I had a wounded little girl in me that I did not even know until Thrive. I mean, I knew I had issues. I had abandonment. I was being left out. I was mistreated. I was unfairly treated. I was not included. We all have a wounded little something in us. And is yours keeping you stuck? Because mine was. So naturally latching on to all of the wrong relationships and looking for love in all the wrong places, and looking for that love that was missing, I found out in a letter at 25 that my mother had drank herself to death. I started praying very, very heavily to bring me a little girl. I don't even know why that came, to take away the pain. And 3 months later, not even planning it, I kid you not, I was pregnant with a little girl. Another Zoom. Yeah. So I had said, oh my God, I was yelling out on Highway 4, oh my God, just bring me a little girl to take away this pain, because I always thought I was going to fix my mom. I was going to help her and fix her when I found her when I was older. So my little girl did heal some of those wounds, but not all. I was still doing everything for everyone else. I did eventually get married, what I believe is the love of my life. I ended up with 2 more kids, more heartbreak and heartache. Now I'm struggling. I'm a single mom, 3 kids, always praying there has got to be more to life than this. I was always saying, I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, and I'm just not getting anywhere. And I kept saying, I can just get by, but I just can't get ahead. So I started going to this church called Fellowship, and I know some of you know of this church. Unfortunately, I never have gotten the pleasure to meet any of our girls on our team from there, except for Tara. Anyways, I was going to this church. I'm self-employed, 29 years of doing nails, but it's not the same as it was 29 years ago when I started. The chop shops have taken over. So I say all this not for you to feel sorry for me, but to see where I was stuck. Here comes a friend request from Shay. From church. Normally I would not have accepted it because I was in a little bubble. I didn't go out of my comfort zone. I didn't accept friendships from people I didn't know. And but I saw that she was friends with a couple mutual friends of mine. So I accepted it. I watched Shay for 9 months. Not because I wanted to, but because I didn't have extra money. So Christmas, December 18th, sorry. Actually, it was on the 19th, I believe. I received a Christmas gift from one of my clients who I usually get every year, and she said, I want you to buy something that you want. Well, I had been watching Shay for 9 months, and I knew exactly what I wanted, which was anything that was going to make me look like Shay. So I went home, I messaged Shay, and I had $500. I was willing to buy anything. Now, naturally, I did not spend $500, but because I wanted to look like Shay. So, and I didn't care how I was going to get there. Just tell me what to buy. So, December, and she signed me up under Kristen, and I was devastated because I don't step out of my comfort zone. I don't know who Kristen is. So that kind of took the wind out of my sail for a quick second. I thought, oh, I don't know who that person is. But she reached out to me, and I was talking to her, communicating, and I said, well, I'm not selling nothing. And I say that because I am a Scentsy consultant, and I have been since 2008. I will tell you, I have spent an arm and a leg and my other leg to stay alive in that company. Now it is $200 every 4 months and $10 a month for a website fee. I don't sell. I knew nothing about MLMs. I did not sell it online. I did not. I'm getting all kinds of messages. I did not step out of my comfort zone, so I wasn't doing great with it. I was just spending all this money. So that's why I said, I'm not selling nothing. Okay. So, and I'm definitely not doing a live. And now you can't shut me up. Okay, so my first 30 days, I was just doing Thrive. I was going to work. I was hanging out with my kids. I was having Starbucks because at Christmas time, my clients give me all kinds of Starbucks gift cards. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I was drinking all kinds of things. Oh, it was so fun. I weighed myself and I was down 7.5 pounds. I could not believe it. I was like, oh my God, I don't believe this. That's all I did. But I did notice that I wasn't craving the same. I wasn't eating as much. And I was living my life. So I was so ecstatic. I couldn't believe I was having Starbucks and I was able to lose that much weight. Okay, so then I was getting in my car, and I just weighed myself. I was getting in my car, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden I stop, I pull over, and I do my first live. I never messaged a thing to Kristen. I didn't even know what the comp plan was. Big mistake. I knew nothing about nothing. Big mistake. But I knew how I felt. I was so excited. I just wanted to tell somebody. And I was thinking of all these people that I could help. Didn't know not everybody wants help. So, I knew nothing about MLMs, nothing about computers, still don't really, and not enough about my phone. Most of you will know that. But I still did my first live. Okay, my sister watched my first live. She popped on. She immediately responds, calls me, and says, "What are you doing? You look so different and you sound different." My first mini experience sold. I was like, "Wow, this is easy. All I had to do was talk." So I went up there that weekend. She saw me. She could tell my energy was just like, well, she signed right away. But I'm not so sure she signed for the right reason. But that day that I did that live was the very moment that I decided to do this. Okay, I knew nothing. So literally I jumped in backwards. I already started over. My sister started immediately. She does things different. She does things different. Let's just put it that way. She started overpowering me and telling me what I need to do. And one of my issues in my life was being compared and not good enough. My sister was always better than me. That was one of my unresolved issues. So kind of caused a little bit of a problem there. I think she might have signed up for the money. I'm not sure. But it was at the time where they doubled the VIP 1,600. Well, my sister signed up, I think it was 32 people. I hit 12K within, I don't know, was it like 2 months? March, April? I think it was April 30th. 3 months. Couldn't believe it. I was flooded with emotion. I was so excited. I mean, ecstatic was the word. But remember, I was still wounded. I was still broken, and I was still unhealed. So the next month, when I didn't hit 12K, I crumbled, like they say you'll do if you're not prepared when you hit it and you possibly lose it. I literally fell to my knees, devastated, like Kristen can probably tell you. And there again, in my life, I was stuck again, because I believe that we're all brought to this for a reason, and different reasons and different times in your life. The message and the lesson was there, and I just hadn't gotten it yet. So up until probably, I don't know, May, I want to say, of this year, maybe? I'm not sure. The light bulb went on. But remember, COVID happened in March. I went back to school, stepped out of my comfort zone enough to go back to school, which was scarier than hell. I was trying to survive, raising 3 kids, healing relationships. Now, I realized that I was looking for the love from everyone else when I just needed to find it within myself. I needed to heal those scars of relationships and find my worth. I started to find gratitude in everything. A lot of people stay uncomfortable because, stay comfortable because that's what you know. We're creatures of habit. It does not serve us, and you can be stuck for years. But I knew that I needed to do something different. People either motivated by something that they want or something that they don't want. If your actions and your behavior are not congruent with your values, it will create more stress, I promise. Knowing what you don't want makes knowing what you want real easy. And I knew I wanted it. One way to combat discouragement is with gratitude. I started turning every bad thing into gratitude, everything. I won't even go into detail with all the things, but I remember the one big thing, and it was a crazy story, but I was so grateful. It's kind of like my car accident. That's why I threw that in there. When you start focusing on what's not happening, you produce more discouragement, which is what I was doing. Focus on what is happening or has happened. Faith and fear cannot share the same space. at all. They cannot even be in the same sentence. I was focusing on what hasn't happened. I kept saying, I must be doing something wrong. I don't understand, because I would see other people doing so well. And no, I just wasn't developed yet. I have found that I keep my phone off now. Before I create my post, I do so much better. When you're creating, you create confidence in yourself. When you put yourself in a position where you're creating versus consuming, it creates confidence. And you create before you scroll. I promise you, because I was running out of time. Not only that, I was going to school and doing all these things and my kids and work. And then next thing I know, I'm trying to rush and do a post and I don't know what the heck to talk about. Okay. It kills your comparison because it's your post you're building. Be proactive with your comparison because you'll get caught up with other people. And then you run out of time. I was always focusing on what someone else did and how I wasn't doing that. I already hit 12K, how could I not? Okay, if you keep focusing on the wrong, there's always another person focusing on the right thing. I found that making a list of what I need to do each morning helps. And I mean, literally, take your capsules, read your devotionals, do that, because you could just follow, it's easier. I had so much to do. I do my self-development. I read a daily word, which I will read you guys because the daily word today, and this book was from my grandmother. I don't know if any of you know, but my grandmother was very important to me. She was the mother I never had. I lost her the year before I started Thrive. It was the year I started Thrive, 2018? Yeah, it was 18, sorry. So she's been gone for 2. But anyway, she turned me onto this when I was a little girl. Well, the daily word today is grace. This book has been read along with my life. Okay, so I read my daily word. I listen to podcasts or sermons or a training video, journals. I have, well, I'll tell you that in a minute, different inspirational books. I have time to read now. I read in the book that I'm reading. I hated to read, I will tell you. I probably have, and I'm not exaggerating, 100 books that I've started that I never read. But since Thrive, I think I've finished either six books, 4 with Thrive, 5 with Thrive, and 2 with school last year, or last semester. I have several journals. I have 9 to be exact. I have a BS journal, which if somebody upsets you, write it in that journal. Write them a letter. You don't have to give it to them, but write it out. Get it out because you don't need to focus on that. Sometimes I burn it. Sometimes I don't. I leave it there. But get rid of it. I have a regular journal. I have a Zooms journal. I have a podcast journal. I have a books journal. I have them all right here too. Well, not every one of them, but I have a CEO calls journal. I have a goals journal now. I have a gratitudes journal, and I have an I am journal. Very, very, very helpful. All I can say. We want expectancy. We want it right now. Okay, that's how anybody feels, right? But we do Thrive. We don't do quick fixes. So you have to remind yourself. And the one biggest thing I have to deal with is don't set it and forget it. That's what I do. And I think, well, God knows what I want. I've already said it 100 times. No, you have to say it daily. You have to keep nurturing. You have to keep watering. You have to keep pruning it daily. You're going to have bad days. You're going to feel bad. But you know what? Feel it and move on. Or write in your BS journal. And do it anyway. Get uncomfortable. That's how you will grow. Joy and depression cannot reside in the same space at all. You got to find gratitude in everything. Pretty soon, you're going to be getting through rough times so much easier. You don't even notice them. That's the truth, honest to God. So I kind of had some tools in here that I have found that have helped me. If something bad has happened
on Main Street,
I start to write a list of 10 gratitudes. And by the time I get to 5, I'm usually in a better mood. And it's like, oh, feels so much better. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it went blank. But I no longer see Ashley. Am I still okay?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. I already said that. We are what we repeatedly do. I was always dwelling on the negative. Now I do nails, so I was seeing 8 to 10 people a day. 8 to 10 people asking you how you are, and if something bad happened, I was repeating it 10 times. No, don't even hold on to it. You got to get it out. Human nature, if you get a payoff from something, you will keep doing it. So we make sure that it's a positive habit. Don't stop until you get what you want. Give yourself grace. There is winning in the other side. Stay committed to the process. Focus on your transformation. Pursuing your vision is rewarding. It really is. Law of attraction. What you put out there is what you get back. So all I've been putting out there was, I just want to help people. Okay, I have helped a ton. Last month was basically residual income, besides my order and my daughter's order, I think it was. But it was like $2,400. I'm so proud of that. That was residual. I'll hit 4K. I'll hit 12K. I will do it. I was only asking to help people, and that's all I was getting. Not anymore. You need to ask daily for what you want. You have to vibe like it's already happened, not set it and forget it syndrome. That's what I call it. Limiting beliefs. Now, this is one big thing that I had to think about or deal with a lot. Whatever doesn't make you feel good is a limiting belief. It's the way it is. So make a list. Another thing that's helped me. Make a list of those limiting beliefs that you tell yourself daily, or that your parents told you, your dad told you, maybe some teacher, hopefully it wasn't a teacher, but you never know. Teacher told you, a friend told you, something that somebody said to you that was hurtful, that stuck with you. Make a list of all of those. Then rephrase all of them in a new list, and then burn the old list. Get rid of it. Our brain doesn't know the difference between positive and negative. It just knows what you focus on. We have 70,000 thoughts in a day, and 85% of them are negative, and they're not moving your life forward. They are negative vibrating. I learned this from a lady I was listening to. That's why getting intentional, changing your mindset is very, very important. Changing your community, your circle. Mine has gotten much smaller, but that's okay. I don't allow negativity in it. Some people agree with it. Some people have told me, "Are your heads in the sand?" Okay. They go in the BS journal. Even if you're just activating 20% in your mind, you can change your brain and impact your life. Anytime you when you're lowering your vibration, your thoughts about anything, relationships, people, situations, your state of the world, the state of the world, conversation, arguments, they all matter. They all take the place, okay? So this is another tool that I did because this is what she recommended, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna try that. So take a rubber band, put it on your wrist. Each time that you say something negative or even think something negative, snap your wrist. You will be amazed at how many times that day you snap that wrist. Because I'm thinking, oh, I don't ever think negative. You do. Not anymore. You do, because it hurts. So you want to say, after you say it and you snap your wrist, you want to say cancel, clear that, and change your thought or your words to a positive statement or grateful gratitude one. When you associate negative thoughts with pain, your brain and your body automatically associate these negative thoughts with pain, and they will naturally take over and start repelling the negative thoughts and replace them with positive gratitude. It flips it right then. Most of us don't realize that they are running us. We don't even realize it. We just say it. We don't even know. We are creating new neurons in our brain, getting rid of negative and replacing it with positive. When you're changing your life, you're changing people around you. If you're not liking the harvest that you're producing, then look at the seeds you're growing. I just heard this as I was planting my flowers. And I did start seeing and have started to see results when I started changing this. So people on my network that I don't even know who they are, a bunch of weirdos too, growing. Sometimes you have to replant it, but definitely water it, nurture it, prune it daily. But be intentional, because like a farmer, what do they do to produce a crop? There is all kinds of things that will come in and rob those seeds. Hail, wind, heavy rain, dry, excessive heat, etc. But if he nurtures it and protects it faithfully, knowing when he puts his seed in the ground, when he does his part, that he will have a harvest in the end. Stay on it. If you just threw your seeds everywhere, imagine if a farmer did that. It would be haphazard and it would be a big disaster. Be intentional. Keep growing, keep going, don't give up. It doesn't just happen, but it's not our place to figure out how. It's just our place to vision it, speak it, and desire it, and definitely celebrate it. You will have naysayers and haters. I have a lot. I have a lot of people that are keto friendly or whatever you want to call that. Keto, my daughter said I say it wrong. And they fight me on it, but that's okay. You're gonna have your own self-doubt and sabotaging, but sometimes if you're still doubting and you're still self-sabotaging, you probably still have something inside that you need to heal. We have to focus on what we think about, create our life, it expands it. Where intention goes, energy flows. I am so glad that I found her, because when Shay asked me, well, what are your 5 things? I'm like, well, I commute 2 hours a day. I have 3 kids, and I don't know, I have three animals. I don't know. I didn't know her, but I found her. I love riding my bike every day. I love flowers. I love this frosty pink lipstick that's outdated that I don't care. I love it. I love my passion, which is to help other people. I am eager to learn, to grow, and I'm fighting to find my purpose. And I'm not going to give up until I do. I am grateful about everything. I literally find grateful. Okay, and another tool that might help you is do your life as a bookend days. And what I mean by that is you start your day with your gratitude journal and you end your day with your gratitude journal. Bookends every day. It's been 21 months. It has been 21 months on the 19th since I started Thrive. I have never given up. I'm so glad I didn't, because I would have never found her. And I will tell you that the relationship with my stepmom, which I didn't go into that too much, but at 40, my dad divorced her, but they are back together. But I said, oh, I just can't do that. That relationship has healed. That is Nikki's mom. And so that relationship is thriving. I've healed so many other things, so many grateful things, and now it's time to produce. And that's all I have for you guys.